So in 2004, I'm visiting my aunt in Iowa. It's like July 4th week, and I get a phone call from you, and you're like, "Hey, man, I'm thinking about taking the Lakers job." And then you went radio silent for about 3 or 4 days. And I'm sitting there that weekend, and I'm like calling my buddies at University of Texas, or I had two buddies that played at University of Iowa, and I happened to be in the state, and I was like, "Yo, if Coach takes the Lakers job, I'm out. I'm leaving." And remind you, this was coming off my sophomore year, where I'm already dealing with some stuff. How close were you to taking the Lakers job?
Closer than any other offer I ever had. And really in depth, I've only entertained two NBA offers. One in '90 when Dave Gavitt was in control of the I love Dave Gavitt. He's one of the great men ever. And he took over the Celtics. And I grew up with the Lakers and the Celtics, the two brands. And I didn't take it. And then we won 2 national championships the next 2 years. So, but with the Lakers, I was 57. And I said, is there something more? Is there? I love what I'm doing. I love Duke. But is there something more? And I'm not going to be doing this forever. Maybe. And I knew Kobe, and they were at my house. They offered a lot of money, and we were building the Mike Krzyzewski Center at that time, and they offered to do the rest of the building of that, and so when they left the house, it was, like, this is like generational wealth. This is not, you got to consider it. And but this is a true story. It's a funny story. I think it's funny. And so one of the people, we all need a few people to believe in us in our life. The guy who hired me here, who has passed away, Tom Butters, believed in me 3 times. And it was critical in all 3 times. And so he was no longer my AD, but I called him. I said, "Tom," and it was 25 years after he hired me. And I said, "Tom, when you hired me, you paid me $40,000. And to be quite frank, I accepted the job here without even knowing how much money I was going to make. But anyway, that's another story." And I said, and so the financial thing, the first thing financially from them at that time, which it's a lot of money ever, but at that time, they offered me $40 million. Okay. And so I said, "Tom, 40,000, 40 million. I said, "What do you think?" He said, "I think you should send me a 10% finder's fee." I said, "You son of a bucket." And I hung up on it. And I just couldn't do it. And I love Duke, and I love this. And ironically, a few months after that, Jerry Colangelo asked me to coach the U.S. team, and I did that for what I loved that. And we've won gold medals, 3 Olympics, 2 world championships, a couple more national championships, but that it was interesting during that time. But I'm really, really pleased that I did not do that.